Hi girls, I'm going to talk to you about Newton's laws. Back in the 18th century, Isaac Newton was sitting underneath an apple tree, and an apple fell and hit him hard on the head. Ow. From this, he created Newton's 3 laws of motion. He also became a Sir in the process. We're going to look at the 3 laws, and we're going to relate them to sport and recreation. Particularly, you need to think about the activities you've been doing in class and how they might relate. The first law is the law of inertia. Inertia means an object's reluctance to changing its state of motion. So an object will either be stationary and will stay stationary unless it's acted upon by an unbalanced force, or an object will continue to move, and unless it's acted upon by an unbalanced force, it would keep on moving in a uniform state. Inertia is also affected by mass. An object with a heavier mass is going to have more inertia. It's going to be more reluctant to changing its state of motion compared with an object that is light. It will have less inertia. So to get an object moving, we need to apply a force. This is going to bring us on to Newton's second law. But before we completely go there, what I want you to think about is how can you apply the law of inertia to the sport that you've been playing in class. When is an object either stationary, so requires a force to get it moving? Now an object, as well as being a ball, remember, could be a body, a human. Or when is an object moving and needs an unbalanced force to change its state of motion? Newton's second law is summed up by a mathematical equation. Force equals mass times acceleration. If we had the same mass and we applied different amounts of force, we would end up having different levels of acceleration. So the more force that I apply to an object of the same mass, the faster the acceleration. If I had 2 different objects of 2 different masses and I used the same force, one of them is going to accelerate a lot faster than the other one. So the one that is light is going to have more acceleration compared to the object that is heavier that would have less acceleration for the same force applied. Have a think about how you could apply that law to the sports that you've been doing in class. Newton's third law is the law of action, reaction. And basically what he figured out was that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So say this person running is pushing into the ground, action, the ground will be pushing an equal and opposite force back. So that is the reaction. If a person was sitting down on a chair, here we go, they will be applying force onto the chair, onto the seat. The seat equally will be pushing back the same amount of force back on the person's body. Have a think about how you might be able to apply that in the sport that you've been doing in class. I hope this helps.